of the biggest things that's happened is the official approval of Courtney Park. Y'all got a lot of new houses for the first time in Pelzer in a long time, right?
Yes, sir. Our Planning Commission did approve a new residential development on Courtney Street. It's going to have 125 homes and 18 townhomes. And they have already begun work on that site. The owners have begun the process of clearing that land, and we do expect them to apply for the next steps, the permits of what they have to do for grading, and we do expect them to start construction hopefully sometime this summer, which is a big change for us. We've not seen this kind of residential development, mass scale like that, in Pelzer in a very long time. And so, you know, it's going to be different, and we're seeing it happen all over our area. Folks are moving here from all over, and they have come to find out what we already know: this is a great place to live. And so we're excited for that, and we hope that it will be, we know that it will be positive for the town.
Now, what will that mean to the town to have that many new houses?
Well, if you think about it, we only have, you know, under 1,400 people total. And so that will bring in a lot of new families. It is within the town limits of Pelzer. And so the town itself, we are not having to pay for anything. We're not paying for anything at all. We're not spending a dime at all on that development. It will have its own HOA, homeowner association. They're going to pay for their own roads. They're going to pay for their own lighting. And as you know, we don't have any property taxes in Pelzer. We're not allowed to because of Act 388. And so this is a cheaper place to live. But, you know, we will receive income for the town through business licenses, and also they do pay a trash fee on their Greenville water bill. So it will create some income from the town, and we won't have to spend any money on it. But we are excited to meet and greet our new neighbors and make them feel included and welcome here. There's a lot of excitement for this area, and it's going to attract new people. There's nothing we can do to stop that. And so we want to make sure that it is a positive experience for everybody involved, and that we continue to grow in positive ways and to fully realize our potential as a little town in the upstate. Council just approved rezoning of 2 large tracts of land, one of which is at the Upper Mill, a triangle piece of land in between Smythe Street and Anderson Street, and we've rezoned that from industrial to single-family residential. And right now the plan is to build 16 new homes at the Upper Mill, right across from where the Upper Mill building used to be. So we've not seen that happen either in a long time, since the Upper Mill was built in the 1890s, late 1890s. So that's going to be a big change as well. And then the other tract of land is at the Lower Mill site. There's a parcel down there where the remains of what's left of the original mill still are there, and they've requested to change the zoning from industrial to commercial. So we're not sure what's going to happen there. I know they're in talks with some folks, some local folks, and have some good ideas. So we hope it'll be something that'll be positive and attract more people to Pelzer and attract them to the river. So that's exciting. We'll see what happens. Got our July 4th fireworks. We are going to have fireworks here in Pelzer again on July 4th. It's a Thursday. Come on into town. This is being organized by several groups working together. It is done locally. Our fireworks are fantastic. Last year, it got even better last year. So we want to rekindle some of the old days. They used to call it the glorious Fourth back in the mill days, and when everything would shut down and everybody would come together and play games and have a good old time. But so we're excited about that. Come see us on July the 4th. There's going to be a lot of free food and other things given out at the Lower Mill. It's going to be at the Lower Mill. So come see us and find a spot and come early. And we're excited about the possibility of partnering with the Pelzer Masonic Lodge. One of the representatives spoke to us at our council meeting and said that they want to get back involved in hosting some festivals in Pelzer, possibly up to 4 a year, which is very exciting. And the next one would be around Halloween. And so we're excited to partner with them because, you know, we don't have a lot of events in Pelzer because we don't have the people to run them. We do have some funding from hospitality funds that we can contribute to things like that. But in terms of us, you know, when people refer to, why can't the town do this? Well, who are you talking about? We have a clerk and 2 maintenance people. That's it. And they can't organize all that stuff. So it's going to have to be either volunteers, residents who want to volunteer and step up to the plate and do it themselves, or it will have to be groups such as the Pelzer Masonic Lodge, who has done a lot for this community, and we're excited to partner with them. I think that's some of the best news we've had in a long time, so that's awesome.
And speaking of groups that partner with the town and partner with you, you got a couple of shows at Milltown Players this summer?
You know we do, Greg. Milltown Players is our community theater here now in its 10th season. We're going to turn 10 on July the 1st. That's the day I stood on this stage for the first time back in 2014 and announced my plans to do shows here again. And it's amazing that 10 years have passed. And as you know, those are my 2 jobs. That's my real job is running Milltown Players as Executive Artistic Director and then serving in a volunteer capacity as mayor. So those are 2 separate things that the town does not provide any kind of financial support to Milltown Players. But this summer, what we've got going on in August, opening August the 2nd, is a newer musical that not many people have seen. It's called Bonnie and Clyde. And so we've got 22 local actors and an 8-piece live band telling the story of those 2 individuals, Bonnie and Clyde, who still capture the imagination of people even today. You hear references of them still in songs and all sorts of things, and people are fascinated by the fact that these 2 young kids in their early 20s from a tiny town in Texas went on this rampage, this spree of robbing during the Great Depression. So it's a very intriguing story. We've got strong actors who are going to tell this story, but also tell it with music and singing. I think it's something that people are very excited about. Every time I announce it on stage, everyone kind of goes, ooh. And ticket sales are picking up for that. So if folks want to see that, we're only running for 2 weekends. That's all we can do. So August 2nd through the 11th. And of course, we've announced our new season, season 11. And we're doing 6 shows as a part of a main stage series, a great variety of shows, and then an additional concert series of 3 concerts. So we've got 9 productions planned for next season here in Pelzer, which starts in September. And it's a big old variety. MilltownPlayers.org can tell you all about it. And we're selling season tickets, renewals right now for folks who are current subscription holders. But then on July 1st, our birthday, anybody who wants to buy season tickets can to season 11. And it's the best deal you're going to find. We pride ourselves in being affordable so that anybody who wants to see a show can. We still have some of the cheapest, or if not the cheapest tickets anywhere you can find in the upstate with some of the best shows. So if you want to get a season subscription, you can see all 6 shows for the price of 5, and this is your one shot to do it. So we're very excited about what we've got planned coming to this auditorium and the exciting things coming to Pelzer. It's all looking up, a lot of exciting things happening, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Monkey Park, we've had some residents who are volunteering, which has been really inspiring. You know, to see people who live here say, I want to help. I have some ideas. I can give some of my time. That is about the best thing ever, truly. It's about the best thing ever. When residents here choose to do something, to actually talk to people face to face and to meet each other and to say, hey, I can help. Let me rake some leaves. Let me offer my time Saturday morning. That's really awesome, and it is inspiring. And I wish that more people would consider that, to say, instead of just saying, why can't we have more? Or how come this isn't better? Ask yourself, okay, what are my talents and passions? Do I have an hour to give? That would be great. And then imagine if everybody thought like that, to say, instead of me blaming or assuming or condemning or judging, say, tell you what, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to do something. If we all thought like that, man, we'd be unstoppable. And so I hope that with these residents who are leading by example, that others will join in and say, you know, maybe I can do something too. Don't be afraid. When you can talk to somebody face to face, it changes everything. instead of behind a keyboard or your phone or whatever. Social media is a very powerful thing, for good, but also for bad. And, before you speak or before you click send or click post, think about it. Am I helping or am I hindering? Do I really care about Pelzer? And if so, what can I do? What can I actually do to become active, to achieve what I think Pelzer should be? Community building is progressing. We had the architect that we hired present to us some plans, which I can share with you, of what it's going to look like, the facade and also the plan, for the ground plan view. And right now, we're waiting on the engineer to do part of his contribution, making his plans to make sure that it's structurally sound and we shore up the roof. And once we have those plans, then we can get moving on finding people to start doing the work. We've got the funding ready to go. We are just waiting on the next step. It's nothing that, no one's waiting on me, no one's waiting on the town. We're waiting on the engineer to finish his part of the process, and then we can see some tangible action on that building, because we've been waiting a long time, and it's going to be worth the wait.
When it's completed, what we'll be able to use it for?
Well, it's Pelzer's community building, and so it is my belief that the residents need to have a say in how that is going to be used. Right now, it's going to be a large room with a kitchen and ADA bathrooms and storage. So that could be used for any number of things, any kind of event or gathering for your family. It's not really my place to say what it's going to be. I think that we all need to have a say in that, because it is a community building. It is a public building, and it should benefit this public. And hopefully, with the improvements of the monkey park right beside it and the plan for more festivals coming up, all three of those things can work together in synergy to create a bit of a hub of activity and new life for that area. I can't wait to see that, to see the community building lit up at night or in the daytime, and see kids playing in the park with hopefully new equipment and the new additions and improvements that are being worked on, and festivals 4 times a year. Man, that'd be great. And it's an historical asset.
That's what I was going to ask you. It's been an important building historically to the town, right?
Yes, sir. Pelzer back in its heyday was a pretty amazing place in terms of what was going on here and what was offered to its citizens. That was an open-air skating rink, probably built around 1900, maybe even earlier. And then, of course, it served many purposes over the year, but many of our historic structures have been torn down or burned down due to any number of reasons, for the sake of progress or because they couldn't keep them up. But we have a few historical assets left in Pelzer, which is part of our identity and who we are and what makes us Pelzer. No one else in the upstate has a building like that, and maybe not even in the whole state. So it's important that we save that piece of history that has been used for over 100 years and bring it back to its former glory. And hopefully also that will help instill a greater sense of pride for Pelzerites in our town, to say, look what we've got that no one else has. And anything that we do, any kind of planning or ideas, I always like to emphasize, can we make this unique so you can't find it anywhere else but here? As we consider improvements for Monkey Park, how does Monkey Park set itself apart from every other park in the area? If we're just going to get the same stuff that everybody else has, then you could go over here. But if we've got something that engages and sparks the imagination of young people that is so unique to our park, it's already got the name, Monkey Park. People are like, why is it called that? And then you get to tell the story.
Not bringing back monkeys, though.
No, not real ones, at least. You get to bring back the story that we used to have a zoo there 100 years ago, most of which were monkeys in cages, if you can imagine, which is why it's still called the Monkey Park. So I would love it if we can to capitalize on that uniqueness and make plans to engage that theme somehow. I got some ideas, but it's not just me, it's everybody's got to get involved. The other one that we're working on is the old hospital on Highway 8, and it looks pretty rough right now because we had to take the siding off of it in order to achieve the historic designation. Both of these buildings are going to go through the historic tax credit process, so we have to align ourselves to certain historic standards in order to achieve that. And so we've had new lots surveyed around both of those buildings, which is part of the process. We've approved the architect for both of those buildings. We are now waiting on the architect to create his plans for that building. So it's a lot of times it's a hurry up and wait kind of a thing, but I have reminded them that we are using ARPA funds that have to be spent by the end of 2026, so we can't wait around forever. We have to spend this money and we have to get it done, and the folks in this town are tired of staring at unoccupied buildings that look like they're falling apart when in fact they are in the process of being renovated. I put up some banners and signs to explain to the public this is under historic renovation. This is not an abandoned building. This is a slow process. It is frustrating for me because I'd like to see it happen quicker, just like everybody else, but my hands are tied. I can't, do the drawings myself. So we're just continuing to encourage them to help us out and get this thing done so we can start on the exciting part, which is the actual construction. Our ball fields over there on Highway 20, we got some funding and we finally restored the infield of our baseball field, our main one called Bill Hopkins Field, named after a man here who many remember as running the rec program. He also served as mayor. He is beloved. He did a lot for young people and sports here, and so they named that field after him. And we had a sign that used to commemorate that was vandalized or run into or something, and so we're going to replace that sign, I promise you that. But in the meantime, we got a banner on the side of that chain link fence that says Bill Hopkins Field that I designed to match the old sign to remind everybody, we're not forgetting this. This is Bill Hopkins Field. So we restored that infield for like $24,000. Cheap as dirt is a phrase that does not hold up. That's some pricey dirt right there. But the second it was done, kids were out there. And they were out there every night. If you build it, they will come. That phrase, from Field of Dreams, so true. I mean, they were almost fighting over that thing. And we are learning how to maintain and take care of that investment. There's now interest in renovating the concession stand that's been empty and sitting there for a long time, dilapidated. So we plan on doing that. It's just a lot going on and a few people to organize it, because you got to get quotes, you got to figure out the scope of the work, you got to meet with people, and it's all on very limited time. But it was a major source of pride for people, not just in Pelzer, but all over this area, who have memories of playing ball and watching ball games there growing up. I mean, it's amazing to me, Greg. We're standing out there looking at dirt and, some old timers walking up and almost having tears in their eyes saying, I used to play here. I have memories here. Thank you for doing this. How can I help? And immediately that sense of community was reborn, seeing kids out there and their parents at night playing ball and everybody together on the same page, briefly, but at least it happened. And we want more of that. And hopefully this will also inspire more interest and more improvements in those ball fields. And I'll go ahead and say it, like I'd like to, when we do get a new sign, I think it was referred to as Pelzer Sports Complex or something like that. But I would like to rename that whole park. I think we should name it Hopkins Park. It's easy to remember. It's in tribute to a great man. So we have Bill Hopkins Field, but I would love to name it Hopkins Park. But that's just me. I'm just one vote. But I hope that idea will spread, and we'll want to do that. It's easy to remember too. It's like spinning plates sometimes around here. Like old circus performer, spinning those plates on those sticks, and you're looking around which one's going to fall down. Oh, let me get that one. Okay, which one's going to fall? Oh, let me get that one. And sometimes, it feels like you're putting out fires and spinning plates, and what is the fire of the day that we have to deal with? But that's just how it is in small town government, and it's part of the game, part of the deal that you sign up for. And if you didn't love your town, you wouldn't do it, with all the stresses and things that come along with it to get closer to those home runs. It's like a friend of mine had told me, he said, it's okay to hit singles all day long. Hit singles all day long. You'll still win the game in the end.